Welcome to the Daily News Crunch. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, and for today's headlines we have top Social Security officials leaves after Musk's team seeks data access, shark bites tourist who was trying to take a photo of it, a Delta Airlines passenger jet flips upside down during turbulent landing in Toronto, Mexico's President Sheinbaum threatens to take legal action over the Gulf name change, Pope Francis hospital stays extended due to polymicrobial infection. Top Social Security official leaves after Musk team seeks data access. The departure of the acting commissioner is the latest backlash to the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to access sensitive data. The top official at the Social Security Administration stepped down this weekend after members of Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency sought access to sensitive personal data about millions of Americans held by the agency, according to people familiar with the matter. The resignation of Michelle King, the acting commissioner, is the latest abrupt departure of a senior federal official who refused to provide Mr. Musk lieutenants with access to closely held data. Mr. Musk's team has been embedding with agencies across the federal government and seeking access to private data as part of what it has said is an effort to root out fraud and waste. Spokespeople for the Social Security Administration and the White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. A family member said Ms. King had no comment. Social Security payments account for about $1.5 trillion, or a fifth of annual federal spending in the United States. President Trump has pledged not to enact cuts to the program's retirement benefits, but he has indicated that he is willing to look for ways to cut wasteful or improper spending from the retirement program that pay benefits to millions of Americans. An audit produced by the Social Security Administration's Inspector General last year found that from 2015 to 2022, the agency paid almost $8.6 trillion in benefits and made approximately $71.8 billion in improper payments that usually involve recipients getting too much money. Mr. Musk's team at the Social Security Administration was seeking access to internal data that provides extensive personal information about Americans, according to a former agency employee familiar with the matter, who spoke on the condition of anonymity out of fear of retaliation. The agency systems contain financial data, employment information, and addresses for anyone with a Social Security number. SSA has comprehensive medical records of people who have applied for disability benefits, said Nancy Altman, president of Social Security Works, a group that promotes the expansion of Social Security. It has our bank information, our earning records, with the names and ages of our children, and much more. Warning about the risk of Mr. Musk's team gaining access to the data, Ms. Altman added, there is no way to overstate how serious a breach this is. Access to that information is generally held closely within the agency because of privacy concerns, the former employee says. It is not clear how many members of Mr. Musk's staff sought to access it, whether they ultimately succeeded, or whether they had been granted full employment status at the Social Security Administration. The Washington Post first reported Ms. King's departure. Ms. King in January had been made the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration, which has about 58,000 employees. She started at the agency as a bilingual claims representative in 1994 and rose through the ranks to hold numerous senior positions, including chief financial officer and deputy commissioner for operations. Ms. King was replaced by Leland Dueck, a career official who has been overseeing the administration's anti-fraud office, according to people familiar with the matter. He did not respond for a request for comment. Mr. Musk's team has also been seeking access to sensitive data at the Treasury Department and the Internal Revenue Service. The White House confirmed this weekend that Mr. Musk's team was in the process of gaining access to taxpayer information from the tax collection agency. Waste, fraud, and abuse have been deeply entrenched in our broken system for far too long, Harrison Fields, a White House spokesman, said on Saturday. It takes direct access to the system to identify and fix it. In January, the Treasury Department pushed out a career civil servant, David Librick, after he resisted giving Mr. Musk's team access to the government's vast payment system at the Bureau of Fiscal Service. Speaking at the White House last week, Mr. Musk asserted without providing evidence that a cursory examination of the Social Security Administration found that people listed in its systems as being 150 years old were receiving benefits. In a post on X on Saturday evening, Mr. Musk posted an image that said he was from the Social Security database that he suggested indicated dead people were collecting payments. Martin O'Malley, who served as commissioner of the Social Security Administration in the Biden administration, said in an interview that the claims of Mr. Musk and his team about the agency were not true. They're just making things up, he said, referring to Mr. Musk's suggestion that more than 1 million people in the Social Security database are in the 150 to 159 age range. Shark bites tourist who was trying to take a photo of it. The woman, who lost both her hands, was flown off the island to receive medical care, according to the Turks and Caicos government. A Canadian tourist trying to photograph a shark in shallow water at a beach in Turks and Caicos Island this month was bitten by the shark and lost both of her hands, officials said. The 55-year-old tourist was treated at the hospital before she left the island, Providenciales, a sandy, 38-square-mile magnet for snorkelers and sunseekers that is ringed by turquoise waters. The shark was about 6 feet long, according to the Turks and Caicos government, but the species was unclear. The tourist had attempted to engage with the animal in an effort to take pictures with it before she was bitten on February 7th, the Department of Environment and Coastal Resources in Turks and Caicos said in a statement. The woman who had been snorkeling when she was bitten was later transported to Canada to receive additional treatment, said Laura Darwich, a spokeswoman for Experienced Turks and Caicos, a tourist board for the island. The Royal Turks and Caicos Island Police Force said it was investigating. Global Affairs Canada, the country's Foreign Affairs Department, said it was aware of the episode and was contacting the local authorities for more information and to offer its assistance. The tourist's identity was not immediately released. The beach was closed but reopened on February 9th after the shark was found to have moved into deeper water, according to the Department of Environmental and Coastal Resources. Turks and Caicos, an archipelago, is a British territory and one of the Caribbean's fanciest tourist destinations. It is also home to one of the largest barrier reefs in the world. Shark bites are extremely rare and are typically accidents, experts say, but sharks can cause severe wounds when they mistake humans for prey. Across the world, there are 88 confirmed or potential shark bites logged last year by the International Shark Attack File at the University of Florida, an organization that tracks shark data. 24 were provoked, meaning that a human had initiated contact with the shark, according to the organization. 4 people died from shark bites. One of last year's recorded bites was in Turks and Caicos. It was not fatal. The file's director, Gavin Naylor, said on Sunday that it was too soon to say if this month's bite in Turks and Caicos was provoked or unprovoked. But Chris Stefano, a New York fisherman and conservationist who tags sharks, said that photographing sharks can carry risks, and that the shark may have been confused a phone for a fish. Sharks, or any predatory animal in the ocean, can confuse that as like a bait fish, Mr. Stefano said, referring to a small shiny fish that draws sharks to shore. The shark didn't just see a human. Ooh, I'm hungry, I want to take a bite. That did not happen. The episode was not the only reported shark bite in the Caribbean on February 7th in the evening. 2 Americans were injured in what appeared to be a shark encounter in Bimini Bay in the northern Bahamas, according to the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Mr. Naylor said 2 bites in one day in the region was unusual and made him sit up a little, but it is not clear whether there was any trend. The number of confirmed unprovoked shark bites dropped to 47 last year, down from 69 the year before, according to the International Shark Attack File. A Delta Airlines passenger jet flips upside down during turbulent landing in Toronto. A regional passenger jet operated by Delta Airlines flipped upside down while landing in Toronto Pearson International Airport on Monday afternoon, injuring 18 people, authorities said. Toronto Airport authorities confirmed that all 4 crew members and 76 passengers were accounted for. 2 passengers were critically injured, but are expected to survive. A statement posted by Delta said 18 passengers were injured and are being treated at local hospitals. The extent of their injuries remain unclear. The hearts of the entire global Delta family are with those affected by today's incident at Toronto Pearson International Airport, said Delta CEO Ed Bastian in a statement. I want to express my thanks to the many Delta and Endeavour team members and the first responders on site. Flight 4819 originated in Minneapolis. The CRJ-900 regional jet, flown by Endeavour Air, was seen on the ground with smoke rising from it in social media posts. However, emergency crews managed to extinguish any fire that broke out. As a precaution, all flights at Pearson International Airport were temporarily halted after the 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time crash, but has now resumed. Delta said it was suspending all flights to and from the Toronto airport for the remainder of the day. Investigators will begin examining the possible causes of the crash, Canada's Transportation Safety Board said. It was noted that the airport was experiencing gusty winds at the time. Mexico's President Sheinbaum threatens to take legal action over the Gulf name change. On Monday, Mexico's President, Claudia Sheinbaum, outlined a letter she received from Google regarding the controversy over renaming the Gulf of Mexico. Last week, the tech company updated Google Maps in the U.S. to reflect Trump's preferred title of Gulf of America. Users in Mexico still see the body of water with its original name, while all other international users view it with both names listed. 3 things to know. An executive order signed on Trump's first day in office aimed to rename it the Gulf of America. This decision sparked laughter and annoyance, as well as raised tensions between Mexico and the U.S. Earlier this month, Sheinbaum shared a letter she wrote to Google with reporters, arguing that the U.S. did not have the right to unilaterally rename the Gulf. Google responded to her letter, saying that they intended to comply with Trump's order and expressed willingness to meet with the Mexican government to discuss the issue further. Mexico's next move. In a press briefing Sunday, Sheinbaum announced that her administration would wait for a response from Google before taking additional steps. If not, she said, we will proceed to court. NPR's Rachel Treisman reported earlier this month that part of Sheinbaum's argument against the name change is based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. This convention states that a country's territorial sovereignty only extends 12 nautical miles from its coastline. If a country wants to change the designation of something in the sea, it would only apply up to 12 nautical miles. It cannot apply to the rest. In this case, the Gulf of Mexico, Sheinbaum said. This is what we explained in detail to Google. Pope Francis' hospital stay is extended due to polymicrobial infection. Pope Francis needed additional hospital care this week after being admitted for bronchitis, the Vatican press office said Monday. The 88-year-old pontiff had been battling a case of bronchitis since early February. He was taken to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on Friday for treatment and diagnostic tests, according to the Vatican. Over the weekend, the Vatican reported that his health appeared stable and his fever had subsided. Then on Monday, the Vatican said new medical test results indicate that Francis had a polymicrobial infection of the respiratory tract. According to medical research, such infections tend to be caused by a combination of viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. All tests carried out to date are indicative of a complex clinical picture that will require appropriate hospitalization, the Vatican said Monday morning. This week's general audience has been canceled. Vatican spokesperson Matteo Bruni told reporters Monday that Francis remains in good spirits. Francis also continued to check in on the parish priest of the Catholic Church in Gaza, which became routine since war broke out between Israel and Hamas in 2023. Reverend Gabriel Romanelli of the Holy Family Church in Gaza City told the Vatican News that Francis called on Friday and Saturday and sent a text message on Sunday. We heard its voice. It is true. He is more tired. He himself said, I have to take care of myself, but he could hear the clear voice. He listened to us well, Romanelli said. A recap of Pope Francis's hospital stays. This is at least the 4th time Francis has been hospitalized since he was elected in 2013. In July 2021, the Pope underwent a 3-hour surgery to remove part of his colon in response to diverticulosis, a condition that can infect or inflame the colon. Then, in March 2023, Francis spent 3 days in the hospital to treat a respiratory infection. Later in June, the pontiff underwent abdominal surgery that also lasted 3 hours to treat a hernia that was causing him recurring pain. In his 20s, Francis also had part of one leg removed, which sometimes causes shortness of breath. That is all we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye!